Hello, my name is Doug Mosbar. Since, well, as far back as I can remember, I've been working on farms. I started on our family farm in Yakima, Washington, and now I farm hay, squash, flowers, pumpkins, and raise cattle in Santa Ynez. Many people think, incorrectly, that farming is done by large corporations. Here in California, most farms are run by dedicated families facing tremendous challenges. But whether you have one employee or hundreds, all good farming businesses share one vital characteristic. Their top priority is the health and well-being of their people. This safety video is an excellent tool in the ongoing effort to make our workplaces safer. But it is only a tool. I hope it will lead you to discuss safety and how to improve the work practices at your dairy. You need to be an active participant. Working together, we can achieve success in our safety efforts, so we can always provide for our families and continue working in this great industry.
Es muy importante tratar los animales bien.
Al ir caminando, tener mucho cuidado de no resbalarte o algo, porque el piso está muy mojado, te puede lastimar.
La comunicación es muy importante en el medio de trabajo, en todas las áreas. Es una herramienta esencial, aparte de lo que se hace aquí, manual o mecánicamente.
For over 50 years, California has been leading the nation in agricultural production. Milk and cream, with a value of $4.5 billion per year, top the list of over 250 commodities. California's dairy industry produces nearly 38 billion pounds of milk a year from approximately 1.8 million dairy cows. Like the state's population, the industry continues to grow and change, creating new safety challenges. We appreciate your interest in learning how to prevent injuries in today's dynamic dairy farms. Accident records show that the main injury trends involve contact with objects and equipment, overexertion and strains, slips and falls. These three injury trends are the main focus of this video program. But we will show a variety of other safety practices, including those which are most important for every milker and herder. Time is the critical difference in dairy farms. Since most dairy farms implement a continuous 7-day, 24-hour work schedule, it is critical that you follow the company's safety procedures. Because what you do will keep you safe and often has a direct impact on the workers around you. What you do affects everyone at the dairy and ultimately the success of the farm.
The dangers in working in a dairy are handling the animals and handling the equipment and the machinery, especially with animals, because animals are unpredictable. We treat animals well. We try to keep them in good shape and to treat them as gently and as well as we can. But there are days in which the animals are more frightened. Like people, there are good days and bad days. They can kick or hit someone. We haven't had an accident with the animals, and we hope that doesn't happen either. It is very important to treat the animals well, because the animals' daily behavior depends on it. Besides, animals that are treated well will last longer in the dairy. We have observed and confirmed this scientifically. They will also breed better, and they will produce more milk.
The majority of dairy injuries occur while handling or moving the cows, such as from their pen to the milk parlor and back, and during the milking process. In fact, 1 second of inattention can result in severe injuries as a result of being stepped on or kicked by a normally docile cow. Injuries from cows are primarily from kicks, being shoved or pinned into a wall or gate, or being stepped on by an animal. To prevent injuries, learn all that you can about each animal's temperament, habits, and handling characteristics. Also, understand that an animal's actions and behavior need to be treated as unpredictable at all times. Have an escape route in case an animal gets out of hand. Escape routes should include pass-throughs and man-gates, and you should have a planned way out when in milking lanes, alleyways, or any location when dealing directly with an animal. When approaching an animal, an employee should position themselves lateral to the cow and ahead or behind its midpoint. To move the cow forward, stand just behind the midpoint, and to move it backward, stand just in front of it. Notice that you should stay well clear of the cow's kick zone when moving them. Cows don't bite or kick with their front legs, so you really only need to be concerned with their hind legs and blind area. If you have to stand next to the hind legs, stand as close to the leg as possible, since the cow will usually push you instead of kicking, reducing the chances of a serious injury.
We're going to move this cow. We should not approach it from behind where the animal cannot see. The way in which it should be approached is from the side or from the front. We want to tell her what direction she is going to move. If I want to continue walking her, I go back and the animal is going to begin to walk again, wherever I want it to go. One thing we can do safely is let it know where we want it to go, to the right, or if we want to move it to the other side, we simply stand in front of her and let her know where we want it to go. The cow cannot see us on this side, so the animal does not know where we are. It's an unsafe way of approaching the animal because it can be frightened by us at any time, and it can kick us. So we simply approach the cow from one side and move the animal where we want it to go.
Fences, gates, and levers can also cause injuries while herding animals. All should be in good working order to properly herd the cows and protect the worker at the same time. Whenever possible, self-locking stanchions should be used for both young stock and mature animals when performing the following activities: dehorning, teat removal, castrating, foot trimming, injections, and artificial insemination. Also, be aware that cows with newborn calves can be very aggressive. Do not get between the calf and its mother. The mother should be restrained whenever possible before removing the calf. There should always be a fence between the handler and the bull, but if a handler must enter into the pen, escape routes should include a pass-through gate and room at the bottom of the fence to roll under if necessary. Bulls are the most unpredictable and should never be trusted. Never tease a bull or turn your back on them. If a bull demonstrates aggressive behavior, notify a supervisor so it can be removed from the milking cows. The milking parlor is the center of activity at the dairy. The correct handling of the cows into the milk parlor during the milking process and the return to their pen will ensure employee safety and the well-being of the animals. Let's talk about milking parlor safety.
Al empezar a trabajar en vacas,
When you start to working with cows, you have to be prepared not to frighten them because they can kick. When you are walking, you have to be very careful not to slip because the floor is wet and you can fall and hurt yourself. And another thing is, as you walk among the cows, they can bunch together and they can surprise you from behind or in front. So you should always be alert from all sides.
Even though the milking process should be routine for the cows, the animal can still be unpredictable, sometimes due to an illness or injury that the handler cannot detect. If an animal becomes aggressive or hard to control, notify your supervisor. Touch the udder and look for skin injury or swelling on the teats before attaching milking equipment. This way, you can take the appropriate treatment actions and avoid startling the cow. If you work in a flat milking parlor, there will be frequent bending and stooping required during the milking process. Stand as close to the animal as possible and use your shoulder to rest on the hind leg as you attach the milking units. This will give the milker some stability and protection from a kick, while also making the cow aware of your presence. In elevated parlors, do not get your head and hands between the cow and stalls. The cows can easily step on your fingers while working near udders when you are in the milking pit. Noise in the milk parlor should be kept to a minimum. Cows will behave calmly and will be less likely to get startled if employees avoid talking loudly or doing anything that causes loud noises or sudden movements. Also, avoid banging equipment or treating an animal roughly. Always handle the cows deliberately, confidently, and calmly. Always remember that cows do best with repetition. Keep your actions routine as much as possible. Another major concern in all milk parlors is the importance of proper housekeeping and wearing the correct personal protective equipment, also referred to as PPE. Between and during milkings, it is necessary to wash down the parlor thoroughly. Slips and falls are a real danger during this procedure due to the wet floors. When cleaning the parlors, be sure to clean and remove manure from alleyways and stairs. At all times while you are working in the parlor, you should wear the right personal protective equipment. Rubber boots should be worn at all times. Rubber mats placed in the milk parlor will also reduce slippage and provide comfort for the milkers. Check for loose mats before your shift, as they can cause an additional slip and fall hazard. After handling animals, you should thoroughly wash your hands and face. When handling a sick animal, it is also critical to wear PPE to protect yourself from the spread of any disease that the animal may have. Also, if you are using chemicals, you should wear gloves and any other special equipment required for the job. Store chemicals in a safe place and make sure the chemicals are properly labeled and the containers free of leaks. Before using any chemical, read and understand the special instructions specified on the label. Also, proper hygiene is extremely important after handling chemicals.